It emerged as the American Army faced the harsh reality of a new war. In the early 1940s, U.S. infantry units were burdened by outdated bolt-action rifles, designs dating back to World War I. The world was moving toward an era of highly mobile combat, in which the advantage went to those who could generate a density of fire exceeding the capabilities of classic weapon systems. During this period, a rifle emerged in U.S. arsenals that General Patton would later call the finest fighting instrument ever devised by man. The M1 Garand became the first mass-produced semi-automatic military rifle adopted by a major power. Its development was the result of years of American gunsmiths' efforts to move away from the outdated bolt-action paradigm and create a weapon capable of providing soldiers with superior rate of fire, effectiveness, and ease of use. The solution was not only technical, but also strategic. The new rifle was intended to change the U.S. approach to modern warfare. The personality of its creator, Engineer John K. Garand, an immigrant from Canada, who spent decades perfecting weapons within the walls of Springfield, deserves special attention. Armory. His work throughout the 1920s and 1930s encompassed a variety of concepts, from early gas-operated systems to experimental designs chambered for the 276 Pedersen caliber. Finally, after a series of technical debates, tests, and competitions, Garand's design for the 30-06 Springfield cartridge was recognized as the most reliable, technologically advanced, and compliant with military requirements. By the time the United States entered World War II, the Army possessed tens of thousands of new-style rifles, and by the end of hostilities, their number had risen to over 5 million. No other country at the time could afford such a massive transition to the self-loading rifle. This became one of the United States' key technological advantages, giving the infantry a significant advantage in combat. Soldiers armed with the M1 Garand could fire significantly faster than their opponents, without wasting time reloading the bolt-action rifle. In the urban battles of Europe and the jungles of the Pacific Theater, this advantage became a survivability factor. The density of fire increased so much that U.S. units could suppress enemy positions without resorting to additional machine guns or automatic rifles. The rifle became more than just a weapon. It became a symbol of American military might. Its contribution to the U.S. victory is recognized today, and not only by military historians. Its reliability, simple design, high technological advancement, and potential for mass production made the M1 Garand one of the most significant small arms of the 20th century. The next part of the video will delve into the details of this rifle's creation, its design features, and the key moments that made the M1 Garand a legendary weapon of World War II. Development of the rifle that later became known as the M1 Garand began long before its mass production. In the first half of the 1920s, the U.S. Army was actively exploring the possibility of switching to self-loading small arms. Bolt-action systems like the Springfield M1903 had proven themselves in World War I, but their rate of fire and handling in dynamic combat left much to be desired. It was then that the military came to the attention of engineer John C. Garand, who proposed an alternative to traditional designs. Garand experimented with several types of actions, gas-operated and long-stroke piston. Early prototypes chambered for the 276 Pedersen cartridge were noted for their low recoil and high accuracy, but had one serious drawback. They required the Army to switch to a new caliber. After much debate, command settled on the traditional 30-06 Springfield. Thus, the final version of the rifle was born, using a gas-operated short-stroke piston system with a rotating bolt. Testing of the prototype yielded impressive results. The design was significantly faster to operate than bolt-action rifles, and reliability remained high even in adverse conditions. At the turn of 1936, the rifle was officially adopted as the U.S. rifle caliber 30 M1. Garand's automatic mechanism is based on a gas-operated system. When a shot is fired, some of the propellant gases are released through a small hole in the barrel, driving a gas piston. This, in turn, acts on the bolt carrier, enabling the weapon to cycle. The approximately 25mm long gas piston is a key element in ensuring the mechanism's stable operation at high rates of fire. A key difference between the M1 and other rifles of the time was its use of a one-piece, rigid receiver, which increased structural rigidity. The wooden stock was made of American walnut and provided a comfortable grip. The weapon weighed up to 4.3 kilo, making it quite heavy, but ensuring stability when firing. The feeding system deserves special attention. The M1 Garand uses the famous 8-round clip, which is inserted into the magazine well from above. After the final shot, the clip is automatically ejected from the weapon with a distinctive metallic clang, a sound that has become a signature of the Garand. Despite its apparent archaism, the system proved surprisingly fast and convenient, especially compared to the manual feeding of bolt-action rifles. The first major tests of the M1 Garand took place not on a proving ground, but in real combat conditions, on the battlefields of World War II. American soldiers fighting in North Africa experienced the advantages of the new semi-automatic system for the first time. The ability to fire rapidly without having to reload allowed them to suppress the enemy, creating a dense curtain of fire. The M1's advantages were particularly evident in the European theater. In urban combat, such as in Normandy and the Ardennes, the Garand's rapid fire gave soldiers a decisive advantage. German infantrymen, armed with the Mauser 98k, could fire at a much lower rate. Even the renowned MP-40 submachine guns couldn't provide comparable accuracy at medium ranges. Suppressing enemy fire and quickly reacting to threats became the standard for American infantry, earning the M1 Garand a reputation as a versatile combat rifle. On the Pacific Front, the Garand proved no less effective. In high humidity and frequent contamination, the weapon's mechanism operated reliably. In short and medium-range combat, especially in the jungle, soldiers made extensive use of the rapid, aimed fire, offsetting the dense ambushes typical of Japanese army tactics. From the start of the war, M1 Garand production was put into mass production on a massive scale. The main factories were Springfield Armory and Winchester Repeating Arms. They were later joined by International Harvester and Harrington and Richardson, already during the Korean War. Production required precision and high standardization. Many parts were manufactured using cold stamping, which reduced cost and accelerated production. Thanks to the standardization of components, rifles from different factories were fully compatible, significantly simplifying field maintenance. Equally important was the ease of training soldiers to operate the M1. The rifle's design was straightforward, and disassembly was straightforward. After World War II, the M1 Garand was widely supplied to U.S. allies. It saw action in the Korean War, where it again proved its survivability in cold and muddy conditions. The rifle later served in the armies of Italy, Greece, Turkey, South Korea, and Taiwan. In some countries, it remained in service until the late 1970s. Despite the introduction of the M14 and then the M16, the Garand continued to be used by reservists and support units. Its accuracy, power, and reliability made it a benchmark for the transition between bolt-action and automatic rifles. The M1 Garand became the weapon that defined the American infantry in the mid-20th century. Its introduction marked the U.S. Army's transition to a fundamentally new level of firepower. It was the world's first mass-produced self-loading rifle, standardized nationwide. And it was precisely this circumstance, not just its design, but the scale of its implementation, that defined its historical uniqueness. The Garand's design proved to be a model of engineering balance. Its short-stroke gas system, rotating bolt, robust receiver, and reliable wooden stock combined to form a single unit capable of withstanding extreme combat stress. The rifle operated confidently in the sands of Africa, the damp forests of Europe, and the tropical humidity of the Pacific Front. Its ease of maintenance and quick disassembly made it suitable for a mass-market army, where many soldiers were encountering a weapon of this caliber for the first time. Combat experience confirmed that the M1 Garand offered soldiers a significant advantage in firepower. Its rate of fire, nearly twice that of bolt-action rifles, allowed American infantry to deliver dense, sustained fire, rivaling even automatic close combat weapons in dynamics. This was particularly evident in the battles of Normandy, the Ardennes, and the Pacific Islands, where the ability to quickly respond to threats was crucial. Enemy reports repeatedly noted the intensity of American fire and the Garand's high resistance to contamination. The distinctive clip feed system is also worth mentioning. Although the 8-round clip was later considered obsolete by some, it proved its effectiveness in wartime conditions. Rapid reloading and automatic ejection of the clip after the last round sped up the shooter's work and eliminated delays. The distinctive metallic sound of the ejecting clip became part of the legend surrounding the M1 Garand, and even decades later, it remains a recognizable symbol of the weapon. The Garand's importance extends beyond World War II. In Korea, the rifle once again proved its reliability in harsh climates and polluted environments. Many soldiers noted that the M1 was superior to later models in mountain combat. After Korea, the rifle continued to serve in Allied armies, becoming a key element of the post-war military aid program. Italy, Greece, West Germany, Turkey, South Korea and Taiwan received hundreds of thousands of rifles, and in some units, the Garand remained in service until the 1970s and 1980s. By the mid-20th century, the M1 had become a symbol of the transition from the era of bolt-action rifles to modern small arms. Its design influenced subsequent developments, most notably the M14, which effectively became an evolutionary development of the Garand. Many design principles, including the robust receiver and gas-operated mechanism, were reflected in future NATO models. Today, the M1 Garand has earned a place of honor in firearms history. It continues to be used by amateur shooters, collectors, and military history organizations. Thanks to its excellent accuracy, powerful cartridge, and distinctive mechanics, the Garand remains in demand even decades after its primary service ended. It became more than just a weapon. It was an engineering achievement that shaped the face of modern small arms.